Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me? Please notify me if you can hear me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Kusog ba, Mark?
Oo,
Madaras.
kusog man, sir.
Sige. Okay, so for today, we will just continue. Okay, I think this will be the last session for English. No, I think there are only four, I think, remaining topics. No, so it will just be a short one because just what I told you before that I will not tackle anymore the literature part because in the literature part you really have to memorize, no, who is the author of a certain text or literary piece, no. So I will not discuss anymore the content of the the literary piece, no. And then uh, a piece of advice, you will also, what do you call this one? Please also search, no, some lines of a certain literary piece. But anyway, I will give you, no, a copy of that na laman siguro. Don't search na laman. Okay? Di ba? For example, yung atong, it is only by the heart that you can see the goodness of a person. Di ba? That's from Little Prince. No? So yung anak siya. Okay. So the first topic for this afternoon will be about modals. No? Modals are helping verbs. Okay? When we say modals, they are also verb. Okay? They are used to give a proposition, a degree of probability, to express one's attitude and to perform various social functions such as expressing politeness or indirectness. No? Okay, so I have here a sample. I have here a picture of modal. Can you see it?
Wala, sir.
Ah, okay. Kaya nakita na mo?
Okay na, sir.
Okay, so these are examples of modal verbs. Okay, the first one we have can. Diba? We also have could, may, might, must, should, will. Okay, these are examples of modals. Okay, or modal verbs, as we say it. Okay, so when do we use can? Okay, we use can. Okay, if you are able to do something. Okay, or if you are able to do an action. Okay, for example, I can speak Spanish. Diba? I can run. I can write. Okay, so you will use can if you are able to do something, diba? As a specific task. It also serves or it also can also entails permission. For example, can I go to bathroom? Diba? So it's it's a sign, okay, of asking for permission, 'di ba? Can I go to the mall? Wala sadya. It also entails probability. For example, it can't be Mark. He is in London. Okay, so probability pud sadya. Okay? So another is could. We usually we usually say that could is the past tense of can. Diba? Most of us, uh, uh, the one thing, okay, or most of us learned that could is just only a, what do you call this one? Past tense of can, but not, okay? there are a lot of functions, no, that the word could, the modal could has. The first one, just what I told you, it's a past tense of can, diba? He could speak French when he was 6 years old. Okay, so past tense siya dire. So at the present moment, no, if he is 7 years old, so maybe dili na siya maka-speak of French. So it's a past tense, diba? So past permission also, diba? He asked permission before. He could go to theater. Okay? Then aside from that, it also functions, no, as a word that could give that could denote no, probability. For example, it could get much hotter in July. So probability is just 40% only. So kuan predict there big chance nga dili siya mahimo. Okay, kay 60% man ang chance na pwede siyang mahitabo. But there's only 40%, sorry, 60% ang chance nga pwedeng dili siya mahitabo. 40% ra ang pwede siya nga mahitabo. Okay? Aside from that, it could also be, you could also use could if you are requesting. Diba? For example, I could lend you my notebook. Or ka, could you please? Diba? Could you get my notebook? Could you could you hand me over the knife? Diba? So manasadya. Then aside from could, we also have may. Okay. So may, it's it is also a it also denotes probability, but 50%. Okay, it may snow tomorrow. Okay, so diba, dire as you if you will analyze the sentence, no, why sir ganun what man dyan why in the sentence it did not use could, diba? He could have said it could snow tomorrow, diba? But remember the time here, no, the time used is tomorrow, diba? The adverb of time, no, tomorrow. So maybe naa si Jai na experience, no, karon nga kanang nagkuan na kanang bugnaw ang panahon. So man nakaingon si Jai og mo snow ugma, di ba? So because of his experiences right now, no, nga based po sa iyang past experiences nga kung ano gani ang panahon, so naay dako ang chance na mo snow ugma, di ba? That's why he used may, no? There's a big probability, okay, there's a bigger chance that it will snow tomorrow. Okay. Aside from that, it also denotes permission. May I come in? No? And, uh, sir, when do we use may in a permission? No? We use may if you are in a formal context. No? You are in a formal setting. For example, in a classroom. May I come in? Because may is used, no? Or may is more of mas kuan siya, mas formal, mas respectful, no? If you use the word may. Diba? That is why we always when a teacher, I mean when a student asks permission from a teacher, it is always um, it is always good that the student use may. Diba? Kaya mas respectful siya kaysa sa can. Okay? So aside from that, after sa may na atay might. Okay, might is 35% or less. Okay? Mas lesser siya sa can. Mas lesser siya sa may. Okay? Kay 35% ragot siya. So, probability gihapon. It denotes probability. Okay? Then we have must. Okay? So, prohibition. Okay? You must not speak loudly. It is hospital. Okay? So, dili jud nimo dapat buhaton. It's prohibition. Then deduction or probability, the teacher must be marked. Okay? So, when you use must, okay, and you denotes your sentence denotes probability, and when you use must, okay, so it means nga dako jud almost 100% ang iyang chance na mauna si Jang imong gisulti si Jaga jud. Okay, or mauna si Ja. Then we have should, advise. You should not smoke. It is unhealthy. Okay, so should entails advice. Then will for prediction, no, for future happenings. You say will. Okay, so more na si Ja. We have again. Let's summarize. We have can, could, may, might, must, should, and will. Okay, so these are the modal verbs. Okay, so muna sa mga modal verbs. Question about modals? Na ba may question? So, why question? So, let's go to uh, adverbs. Okay? So, adverbs modify verbs, adjectives, or another adverb. Okay? So, adverb has, I think, four types. No, there are four types of adverb. Three na di ay. Okay, we have adverb of manner. Okay, how does a work is being, or how does an action is being done? Diba mo na siya? Adverb of manner. For example, he uh, did the job poorly. So sa madiha ang adverb ni Ja. What is the adverb of manner in the sentence? What word? You have any idea? Okay, so it's poorly. Okay, so how a thing is done. So that's adverb of manner. So after that, we have another example po. May nga. Uh, he runs slowly. Or may kag, he ran slowly. Diba? The word slowly there is the adverb of manner. How did he run? Diba? Slowly. Sabi na siya. And we have adverb of time. This answers the question when the action happened. Diba? He will go there tomorrow. Diba? Yesterday. Uh, earlier. Later. So those are examples of adverb of time. We also have adverb of frequency. This answers the question how often. Okay? Gaano kadalas. No? Una sadya. So we have here every week, uh, frequently, most of the time, muna sadya. Most often. So those are examples of adverb of frequency. So when we say frequency, it means how often, no? Kana nga butang or kana nga action nahitabo. Okay? So now let's go to preposition. When we say preposition, it links words with a sentence. No, it also states how two separate things are related. A preposition may indicate a location, direction, possession, or cause. No? So what are the examples of preposition? We have in front of, in regard to, inside, in spite of, into, about, above, across, against, among, no, in, near, down, despite, from. So sa genre ni si Ja, no? So those are prepositions. Now we also have here the conjunction, no? So for conjunction, I have here a video. So I want you to watch the video about conjunction. Asa na ba din? Share. Sorry. Share. Ito isa.
Would sound stilted and awkward. In today's lesson, we will learn about conjunctions.
Nakabati mo sa sound? Have you heard the sound? The video?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sige.
Conjunctions connect words or groups of words. Without conjunctions, your speech and your writing would sound stilted and awkward. Conjunctions are either coordinate, subordinate, or correlative. Let's start with coordinate conjunctions. A coordinate conjunction connects words or groups of words that are independent of each other. In other words, coordinating conjunctions connect words, phrases, and independent clauses. There are 7 main coordinate conjunctions. These are for, and, nor, but, or, yet, or so. Let's look at some examples of these coordinating conjunctions in a sentence. Hay and grain are sold here. Will you take tea or coffee? He was pale but undaunted. The teacher replied courteously but firmly. The troops embarked rapidly but without confusion. Noon came, and the task was still unfinished. We must hide here until night falls and the street is deserted. Let's take a look at the first 4 sentences. In each of the first 4 sentences, the conjunction and, or, but connects single words that are in the same construction: subjects, objects, predicate adjectives, or adverbs. In the 5th sentence, the conjunction but connects an adverb with an adverbial phrase, both being modifiers of the verb embarked. In the 6th sentence, the conjunction and joins the 2 coordinate or independent clauses of a compound sentence. And in the 7th example, the conjunction and joins 2 coordinate clauses which, taken together, make up the subordinate clause until night falls and the street is deserted, which would make this clause a compound subordinate clause. It is important to observe the punctuation rule when using a coordinating conjunction to connect 2 complete, independent, or coordinate clauses. Always put a comma before the conjunction. Let's look at some examples. We were hungry, comma, for we hadn't eaten in 5 hours. the comma precedes the conjunction for because both clauses are independent. Remember the acronym FANBOYS to help you identify the most common coordinating conjunctions for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Another type of coordinate conjunction is the conjunctive adverb. Conjunctive adverbs are classed as coordinating conjunctions because a conjunctive adverb is a type of adverb that joins together two independent clauses or sentences. Some examples of conjunctive adverbs are however, moreover, therefore, nevertheless, notwithstanding, furthermore, and consequently. Conjunctive adverbs are used mostly for transition, whether from sentence to sentence or from one paragraph to another. Let's look at an example. I went to the mall after work. However, I did not find what I was looking for. In this example, the conjunctive adverb, however, is used as a transition to coordinate two independent clauses. I went to the mall after work. I did not find what I was looking for. Let's look at another example. The album sold over 1 million copies. Moreover, it won a Grammy. The punctuation rule to apply when using conjunctive adverbs to connect two complete sentences called independent or coordinate clauses is to use a semicolon to connect the two independent clauses and place a comma after the conjunctive adverb. You may also separate these into two complete sentences. This only applies when the conjunctive adverb is at the beginning of the independent clause. When the conjunctive adverb appears at the beginning of a sentence, it should be followed by a comma, like in this example. I went to the mall after work. However, I did not find what I was looking for. Or in this other example, the album sold over 1 million copies. Moreover, it won a Grammy. A new parking lot was built near the shopping plaza. However, the additional parking lot did not provide enough spaces to accommodate all the cars. Notice that in these examples, the independent clauses are separated into two complete sentences, and a period is used. The conjunctive adverb appears at the beginning of the sentence and is followed by a comma. Sometimes the conjunctive adverb interrupts the sentence, and you only need to set it off with commas. Let's look at this example. The additional parking lot, however, did not provide enough spaces to accommodate all the cars. Notice that in this example, however, is set off with commas. And when the conjunctive adverb appears at the end, it should be preceded by a comma. Let's look at the same sentence with the conjunctive adverb at the end. The additional parking lot did not provide enough spaces to accommodate all the cars, however. The acronym to remember the most common conjunctive adverbs is THEMOS. By using THEMOS, you will be able to identify the most common conjunctive adverbs. The next type of conjunction is the subordinate conjunction. A subordinate conjunction connects a subordinate clause with the clause on which it depends. In other words, subordinating conjunctions show the relationship between a dependent and an independent clause. The main subordinate conjunctions are although, though, as if, or as though, because, if, since, when used as because, that, unless, whereas, and while. It is important to remember the punctuation rules when it comes to subordinate conjunctions. When the dependent clause is placed first in a sentence, use a comma between the two clauses. Though she saw danger, Martha was not afraid. In this example, the dependent clause, though she saw danger, begins with the subordinate conjunction though, so we separate with a comma. In the next example, the dependent clause is at the beginning and it starts with the subordinate conjunction if. If you prefer, comma, take this seat. Let's look at another example. Because it was raining, comma, we could not go out to play. In all these examples, the dependent clause is at the beginning of the sentence, and the subordinate conjunction is at the beginning of the dependent clause. Let's look at an example of the independent clause placed first and the dependent clause second. In this case, do not separate the two clauses with a comma. Martha was not afraid, though she saw the danger. In the previous example, we had seen that the sentence began with the dependent clause and the subordinate conjunction though. But in this case, the dependent clause is at the end and the subordinate clause is in the middle, joining the two clauses. We do not need to insert a comma in this case. Let's look at some more examples. Take the seat if you prefer. Your career will be ruined unless you change your ways. We could not go out to play because it was raining. If you simply remember that subordinating conjunctions that fall in the middle of a sentence are generally not preceded by a comma, or that subordinating conjunctions that begin the sentence should be followed by the comma, you will be okay. Remember the acronym SWABITS to help you identify the most common subordinate conjunctions. And the third type of conjunction we will address today are the correlative conjunctions. Conjunctions that are used in pairs are called correlative conjunctions. They connect two equal grammatical terms. The main correlatives are both and, not only but also, either or, neither nor, though yet, meaning still, although yet, also meaning still, since, therefore, if, then. Examples of correlatives may be seen in the following sentences. Both lions and wolves are carnivorous. William II was not only the German emperor, but also the King of Prussia. Either brass or copper will do. Neither Keats nor Shelley lived to be old. She asked me whether I was American or Canadian. Though the roads were very bad, yet he managed to reach the city before midnight. Although he betrayed me, still I cannot believe he says he is my friend. Since 4 is the square of 2, therefore 2 is the square root of 4. If Alan's testimony is true, then Gilbert's must be false. To summarize, there are three main types of conjunctions: coordinating, subordinate, and correlative. A coordinate conjunction connects words or groups of words that are independent of each other. In other words, coordinating conjunctions connect words, phrases, and independent clauses. Remember the acronym FANBOYS. A conjunctive adverb is a type of adverb that joins together two independent clauses or sentences. It is classed as a coordinating conjunction. Remember the acronym THAMOS. A subordinate conjunction connects a subordinate clause with the clause on which it depends, an independent or coordinate clause. Remember the acronym SWABIT. Correlative conjunctions are two-part conjunctions. They are used in pairs and they connect two equal grammatical terms. They help to maintain the parallel structure of a sentence. And remember that some conjunctions may change their part of speech. A conjunction may be coordinate, subordinate, or part of a correlative depending on the context in which it is used. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. We'll see you real soon.
Hello, this is Emma from English, back with another lesson on the English YouTube channel. Now, in English we say the school is on.
Okay, so that's all about conjunction. So we have uh so, so those are the three types of conjunction, no? Okay, so we have the coordinating conjunctions. So in the video, you are told na fun boys, no? So for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. So ang coordinating conjunctions connect words of the same grammatical structures. So ang coordinating conjunctions, the I, it combines, no, two words or phrases, no, into single unit. While the subordinating conjunctions connects two complete ideas to make one dependent to another. So ang independent clause mag-connect siya sa as mag-connect siya og dependent clause, no? Using subordinating conjunction para masabtan sila as one. Okay? So we also have the correlative conjunctions. Very easy. We have either or, neither nor. Okay. So katong usa ni diya katong conjunctive adverbs. Lahi po to siya, but it's still part of the conjunction gihapon pero not relevant na to siya, no, sa atong review. Okay. So now we have here the interjection. These are words that express strong feelings or emotions, no? They may function as an independent sentence with the speaker as the subject. So, ouch, aha, alas, oh, hooray. So those are examples of interjection. Okay. So before we proceed to subject-verb agreement, no, let's go first to tenses, no, because this is very uh, difficult, no, to understand. So I have here a video again of tenses. Then later I will what do you call this one? I'll discuss after the video, no? Para mas detailed ang atong discussions ani.
Thanks to flawless writing.
The verb tense tells you when the verb happened. There are 12 verb tenses: past, present, and future, and these have categories which are simple, perfect, continuous, and perfect continuous. Here is an overview of all of the verb tenses. Past simple. This tense is used to describe an action that has already happened. The structure is the subject plus the verb in a past form. For example, I walked to work today. She arrived late to school. I ate my lunch in the cafe. I saw my friend in the shop. It's important to note that irregular verbs have different past forms. For example, eat, ate, eaten. Past perfect. This tense is used to describe an action that was finished before another past action. The structure is subject plus had plus verb past participle. For example, I had finished my homework to give to my teacher, but she had already left. He had visited China. My mum hadn't packed my lunch, so I had to prepare it myself. Past continuous. This tense is used to describe an action that was ongoing. This action may have been interrupted or another action also occurred. The structure is the subject plus was or were plus a verb ending in ing. For example, I was working all day to finish my homework. We were walking home when my mum called me. He was waiting an hour when the bus finally arrived. It's important to note that with I, she, he, it, we use was. We, they, you, we use were. Past perfect continuous. This tense is used to describe an action that started in the past and continued till another action or time in the past. The structure is the subject plus had been plus a verb ending in ing. For example, it had been raining all day, so I couldn't walk to work. We had been looking for my phone for 1 hour when Jasmine found it under the sofa. She had been preparing dinner when I arrived home. Present simple. This tense is used to describe an action, habit, or facts that are generally true and occur in the present time. The structure is subject plus a verb in the present form. For example, I walk to work every morning. Anna visits the town centre every weekend. She works as a teaching assistant in the school. It's important to know that when using the subject, I, you, we, they, the verb doesn't end with an S, whereas when using the subject she, he, it, the verb generally changes with an S added to the end. Present perfect. This term is used to describe an action that has taken place once or many times before now. The structure is the subject plus have or has plus a verb in the past form. For example, I have walked to school every day. They have travelled to China twice. Stacy has worked as a teaching assistant for 3 years now. In these examples, the time periods are continuing. For example, Stacy's career is still continuing, therefore it's in the present tense. If we are using the subject I, we, you, they, we generally use have, and for subjects she, he, it, we use has. Present continuous. This tense is used to describe an action that is ongoing now. The structure is the subject plus am is or are plus a verb ending in ing. For example, it is snowing outside. I am studying for my exam. She is eating her lunch. Here, when we are using the subject I, we generally use am. For subjects she, he, it, we use is. And for subjects we, you, they, we use are. Present perfect continuous. This tense is used to describe an experience or action that started in the past and is still continuing till the present moment. The structure is the subject plus have or has been plus a verb ending in ing. For example, I have been studying for 3 hours now. They have been living in the same house since 1999. It has been snowing all morning. Again, it's important to note that when we are using the subjects I, we, you, they, we use have, and for subjects she, he, it, we use has. Future simple. This tense is used to describe an action that hasn't happened yet. So there are 3 structures to future simple tense. The first structure is the subject plus am, is, or are, going to, plus the verb. For example, I am going to the shop. She is going to buy some clothes. Structure 2 is a subject plus am, is, or are, plus a verb ending in ing. We are having dinner at the restaurant tomorrow. I am starting my English course next week. Structure 3. We have the subject plus will or shall plus the verb. We will go to the market on Wednesday. I shall ask my friend to help me with my homework tomorrow. Future perfect. This tense is used to describe an action that will be completed before a specified time. The structure is subject plus will have plus a verb in the past form. For example, I will have finished my homework by tomorrow evening. She will have worked as a teacher for 3 years by the end of this year. They will have arrived in China by now. Future continuous. This tense is used to describe an action that will occur and will continue for a set period of time in the future. The structure is subject plus will be plus a verb ending in ing. For example, I will be going to work tomorrow at 8 a.m. She will be moving house next month. I will be travelling to Turkey next weekend. Future perfect continuous. This tense is used to describe an action that will continue until a point in the future. The structure is the subject plus will have been plus verb ending in ing. For example, I will have been cleaning the house for 3 hours when she arrives home. By 9 p.m. she will have been completing her homework for 2 hours. They will have been very tired from travelling for 5 hours. Now, can you write a sentence for each tense?
Okay, so that's the video about the tenses, no? So during an English lecture, this topic is one of the most uh, difficult one, no? So isa sa pinaka-difficult nga, this is one of the most difficult topics in English, the tenses, no? So let's start with the simple present tense. Simple present tense, okay, is used to express habitual or factual actions. Okay, so verbs in the present tense express habitual or factual actions. So when we say habitual, it means you are doing it every day. No? At the same time, aside from that, you you do most often. No? Or and it's a factual actions. When we say factual, it means tinuod. Okay, for example, she sings, the sun shines. Then we have the simple past tense. So this one, we have the simple past tense. Verbs in the past tense express actions that happened in the past. So, nahuman si Ja, nahuman na si Ja, no? So, ang atong clue ani is the adverb of time, di ba? So there's an exact time that the action happened, no? Example, we have the yesterday, no? Last night, last month. So you will use past tense, no? Simple past tense. We also have simple future tense. Okay. So we have here simple. So we have here simple future tense. No, verbs in the future tense express actions that will happen in the future. So mahitabo si Ja mo kuan pa kanang buhatonon pa, future. No? So now let's go to the progressive. We have here the present progressive tense. Okay? Verb in the present progressive tense express actions that are happening at the moment. No? So mo ni siya at the moment. Okay? At the moment. Karon mismo, right now. Diba? For example, she is singing at the moment. She is She is walking right now. So that's present progressive tense. We have the past progressive tense. This expresses a continuing action that started and ended in the past. No? Example, she was singing all afternoon yesterday. Kani siya continuous action, continuous action, continuous action that happened in the past. Happened and ended sa una. Okay? So naglihok-lihok si Ja. Okay, na nga naman, naglihok-lihok man kay na ay ing gihapon. 'Di ba? No nang it's a continuing action. Okay? Continuing action that started and ended in the past. For example, ning nga gahapon nakita na us dyan nagdagandagan. 'Di ba? So, the moment nga nakita nimo si Ja, she was still doing that action. Okay, currently she was doing the action. Okay, so after that one, after past progressive, okay, so we have here future progressive tense. Okay, this expresses a continuing action that will happen in the future. Okay, it means that continuing action siya, pero buhatonon pa. Okay, for example, maingon ko, kinahanglan og ha makita ko nimo magdagandagan. 'Di ba? So that's it. So the pattern is will be. Okay, so the pattern is will be. Wala siya. Will plus be plus ing. Then we have present perfect tense. Okay. This expresses an action that started in the past but is still happening at present. Okay? Nag-start siya sa una and then until now, okay, naapaghapon siya. Sige gihapon siya. Example, I have sung a song. Ano siya? Have plus past participle. Okay? Have plus past participle. So magdepende po na dyan sa subject. Okay? If it's singular, so you will use has. Okay, next, we have here the past perfect tense. This expresses two past actions in which one happened before the other. So when we say past perfect tense, two past actions, but do not happen at the same time. Okay? Naunag human ang usa before nahuman ang usa. Okay? So, or, nahuman ug una ang usa. Okay. Before the other one. So, two past actions but do not happen at the same time. Or, the one ended first before the other. One is a past perfect tense. Okay? So, we have here the future perfect tense. This expresses two future actions in which one will happen before the other. So, she will have sung before she dances. So, when we say future perfect, two actions that will happen in the future. That will happen in the future. Will happen in the future, but one action will happen first before the other. So that's it. Two actions that will happen in the future, but one action will happen first before the other. So that's future perfect tense. So usually when we say perfect, no, mga perfect tenses, so usually it has two actions. No, when we say perfect tenses, it usually has two actions in one sentence. Pero dili sila, but they don't happen at the same time. So that's my conclusion about perfect tenses. So after that, we have the present progressive tense. Okay, this expresses an action that started in the past and still happening at present and will most likely to continue in the future. So she has been singing since this morning. Okay, so this one, three times, no? So past, present, and then will most likely happen in the future. So what's the pattern? Has been, have been, plus ing. So that's present progressive tense. Okay. This action was done in the past. Okay. Action that happens in the past, in the present, at the present moment, and it will probably be happening in the future. I am simplifying the meaning. Okay. Action that happens in the past, at the present moment, and will probably be happening in the future. So when we have the past perfect progressive tense, this expresses two past actions where the first one was still happening when the second one transpired. Okay. So she had been singing before the bomb exploded. Okay. So two past actions. Okay. Two past actions siya. Okay. Two past actions. Ang usa ka past action was continuing. No? Two past actions. The first past action is continuing. No? Before the second past action happens.
happens. No? So duha sa ka past action. For example, gahapon nakakita ako ni Janak sa sadyaw. Unja pagkataod-taod nahidagma ang ijang kauban, 'di ba? So that is it, no? So there are two actions. The first action is continuing before the second past action happens. So next we have here the future perfect progressive tense. This expresses two future actions. Okay, honey, I'll color it red. So this expresses two future actions where the first action is still happening when is the second one transpired. Okay, for example, she will have been singing before the bomb explodes. Okay, so this is it. This expresses two future actions where the first action is still happening when the second one transpired. Okay, so that's it. So that's about the tenses. Okay, so just what I told you, this is one of the most difficult topics, no? Okay, so we are already done with the tenses. Now let's go to the SV agreement. Okay. Now let's go to the SV agreement. No, this is very important. Now the first rule, there are actually 12 rules, I think. No? The first one, we have the indefinite pronouns. Anyone, everyone, someone, no one, nobody are always singular and therefore require singular verbs. Okay. So these words, they need singular verb. Okay, example, everyone has. Somebody has. Okay. Some indefinite pronouns such as all, some are singular or plural depending on what they're referring to. Okay, example, some of the uh, some of the beads are missing. No? So these words depends on the noun. No? If the noun is countable, okay, if the noun is countable and it's plural, okay, so you will use are. Okay, that's a gem. But if the noun is uncountable, for example, water, so you will use is. Okay, so on the other hand, there is one indefinite pronoun that can be either singular or plural. It often doesn't matter whether you use a singular or plural verb unless something else in the sentence determines its number. Writers generally think of none as meaning not any and will choose a plural verb as in none of the engines are working. But when something else makes us regard none as meaning not one, we want a singular verb as in none of the food is fresh. Okay, so it depends. Okay, so it depends upon the speaker and the noun. Okay, so if the noun is plural, no, so if it will also take a plural verb. Okay, have done. Mhm. But usually none is singular, do not suggest. Okay, so here we have the some indefinite pronouns are particularly troublesome. Okay, everyone and everybody certainly feel like more than one person, and therefore students are sometimes tempted to use a plural verb with them. They're always singular though. Each is often followed by a prepositional phrase ending in plural word. No? Thus, confusing the verb choice. Each to is always singular and requires a singular verb. Example, everyone has finished his or her homework. Okay, so uh, these words is singular in meaning, ha? Always, everyone, each one of you. Okay, diba? That's everyone, each one. But here it says each is often followed by a prepositional phrase ending in plural word. So this one, if there is of the, okay, after each there's of then the noun should be plural. For example, each of the cats, okay, each of the dogs, diba? Another also, one of the, diba? One of my friends, usa sa mga, diba? So that's it. But you will only use plural if there's a prepositional phrase of the. But if there's none, so it should be singular. Each cat, each dog. That's it. Okay. So next, let's go. Oh, you would always say everybody is here. This means that the word is singular and nothing will change that. Okay. Okay. Here na sa here. Each of the students, di ba? As you can see, uh, he used the prepositional phrase of the. Diba? So the noun is plural, but the verb is singular. Why? Because it says each of the students, no, kada usa is responsible for doing his or her work in the library. Okay? So please do not get confused. Okay? Another example. One of my friends. One of my friends is. Okay, dili are. Is. Because if you will translate this into Bisaya, it means usa sa akong mga amigo. So usa gihapon. One. Diba? So that's it. So don't let the word students confuse you. Okay? The subject is each, and each is always singular. Okay? Each is always responsible. This one. Phrases such as together with, as well as, and along with are not the same as and. The phrase introduced by as well as or along with will modify the earlier word, but it does not compound the subjects. Okay? So, okay, so here it will depend on what is the first subject. Okay? So the mayor as well as his brothers is going to prison. So what's the first subject? Diba? It's the mayor. Mayor is singular, so you will use is. Okay? This only applies to phrases together with, as well as, along with. So uh, this rule only applies to these phrases. Okay? So it should be the first subject. Okay? That will be the basis of your verb. Okay? So this one is different. It will really take plural verb because he used and. So there are two subjects, the mayor and his brothers. Okay, so you will use are. Okay. Now here we have the pronouns neither and either are singular and require singular verbs, even though they seem to be referring in a sense to two things. Okay. Neither of the two traffic lights is working. Which shirt do you want for Christmas? Either is fine with me. Okay. So these words, pronouns neither and either, they always take singular verb. Okay. But sir, what will happen if it's a it's like a correlative conjunction, either or, neither nor. So later we will find it out. Okay. In informal writing, neither and either sometimes take a plural verb when these pronouns are followed by a prepositional phrase beginning with of. This is particularly true of interrogative constructions. Have either of you two clowns read assignment? Are either of you, no, taking this seriously? Okay, so ug na po kunoy of after sa word nga either or neither, so it will take plural verb. Number 5. The conjunction or does not conjoin as an. Okay? When nor or is used, the subject closer to the verb determines the number of the verb. Okay? Whether the subject comes before or after the verb doesn't matter. The proximity determines the number. So this one. This is what I told you earlier. Okay? So what if either or, neither nor? So what should be? Okay? Because ganiha, the as well as together with your verb depends on the first subject, no? But this one, kung unsa ang duol sa verb, okay? What's the nearest from the verb? Okay, that will be your basis. Okay? For example, my brothers are. Diba? Here, either my father or my brothers. There are two subjects. Okay? There are two subjects. But my brothers, okay, is the nearest from the what? From the verb. So you will use are. Okay? Here, neither my brothers nor my father is because why is? You have an idea? Why do you think the answer or the verb is? Do you have any idea?
Because father is singular.
Okay, very good. Because father, the nearest verb is singular. Okay. Okay, next. The words there and here are never subjects. Okay. It still depends on the noun. Okay, for example, here are two apples. Why are? Because two apples. Okay, this is the subject, the two apples. This one is not a subject. Okay, here is a preposition. Okay, so it will still depend on the subject. Yeah. For example, there is no. Is because no reason, wala. Okay. This one are because two reasons. Okay, so that's it. Number 7, verbs in the present tense for third person. Okay, singular subjects have other verbs do not add s endings. So let's do it. Okay, so for this one, third person. Okay, third person pronoun they always take singular. Okay, singular verb. For example, he talks, he eats, she runs. Okay? if it's present tense. Okay? So eight, sometimes modifiers will get between a subject and its verb. But these modifiers must not confuse the agreement between the subject and its verb. Okay, the mayor, who has been convicted along with his four brothers, no, on four counts of various crimes, but uh, also seems like a cat to have several political lives, is finally going to jail. Okay, even okay, even if in the within the modifier, okay, this is the modifier, this one, the one in between the commas, okay, even if inside, okay, or even in this modifier there are a lot of plural, okay, plural nouns, it should always be the first subject, huh? That will be the basis of your verb. The mayor, the mayor is singular, so it will take a singular verb. So the modifier will not the modifier will not um, interfere. Okay, it will still be the first subject. Modifier ka lang. Okay, this one, sometimes nouns take weird forms and can fool us into thinking they're plural. Okay, when they're really singular and vice versa. Okay, so, di ba? And then, unless they're preceded the phrase pair of, in which case the word pair becomes the subject. Di ba? There are words, there are nouns that ends with s but is singular in meaning. Diba? For example, economics, physics, uh, gymnastics. Diba? There, uh, those words end with s but they are not plural. Diba? They are still singular. Okay? So, hmm. And then we also have phrase pair of, in which the case word becomes the word pair becomes a subject. For example, a pair of plaid trousers is in the closet. Okay, so a pair, diba? Singular. So it will take a singular verb. This one. Some words end in s and appear to be plural but are really singular and require singular verbs. Amo din ni si Jaganing ha. News, measles, economics, the one that I've told you earlier. So they will still take a singular verb. This one, fractional expressions such as half of, a part of, a percentage of, a majority of, are sometimes singular and sometimes plural depending on the meaning. For example, some of the voters are still angry. A large percentage of the older population is voting. So it will still depend, okay, on the noun. If it's countable and if it's plural, then it will take a plural verb. Okay? If it's uncountable and yeah, if it's uncountable, it's singular. Okay, muna siya. It will still depend on the noun. Then last one, if your sentence compounds in a positive and a negative subject and one is plural, the other singular, the verb should agree with the positive subject. Okay, the department members, okay, but not the chair, have decided. Okay, so for this one, what is the positive? No, which one is the positive? That will be your basis for your uh, that will be the basis of your verb. Diba? The department members, but not the chair. So of course, this one will be the basis of your verb because she's the one doing the action. Diba? The department members are the ones doing the action and not the chair. So manang you will use the plural have decided. Okay? So that's it for the subject-verb agreement. Any question? If there's no question, then we'll proceed to the last one. Okay, so it seems there's no more question for that. Okay, so now let's go to the sentences. The four kinds of sentences. This is very simple, no? Declarative states an idea and express facts and opinions. So it ends with a period. Okay, it ends with a period. For interrogative sentence, used in asking questions. Ends with a question mark. Or that. And we have the imperative used in asking someone to do something. You are asking now to do some things. Is go away, turn around, write your name. For exclamatory, used to express strong feeling or emotion. This is very self-explanatory. Now let's go to the four kinds of sentences according to structure. We have here the SAVDO, SAVIODO, SAVDOOC, and this one. SLVPA. Okay, so I have here a video. So you will watch this one first.
Hello, grammarians. Hello, Rosie.
Hi, David.
So today we're going to be talking about subject, direct object, and indirect object, and identifying those within a sentence. But first, I suppose we should figure out what those things are. So we've talked about what subjects are before, but let's review it again really quickly. So a subject is a noun or a pronoun that performs the verb in a sentence. So in the sentence, Chris ate cereal, Chris is the subject because Chris is the noun or pronoun that is performing the verb ate. Rosie, what is a direct object?
So a direct object is the main thing in the sentence that is being acted upon. So in this sentence, Chris ate cereal. Cereal would be the direct object because it's the thing being acted upon. It's being eaten.
So every sentence has to have a subject. So subject is critical, but direct objects and indirect objects, less so.
Right.
So we could all, as a sentence, we could just have Chris ate, right?
Right.
But if we want to bring in this direct object, we can say Chris ate cereal. So who's doing the eating? Chris. What is the thing that was eaten? Cereal. So this seems like it would cover most interactions between objects and people. But then we have this other thing, indirect object. What's that about?
So an indirect object is often kind of signifying a recipient of something. So it's like another thing in the sentence that might be acted upon.
So let's see if we can come up with some examples for that. Because we have this direct object, which is this thing being acted upon. And then the indirect object is also being acted upon, but it's being acted upon in like a giving way. Let's see if we can figure this out. All right, so we have this sentence, straightforward, Althea threw a frisbee. So we've got subject here, and we've got direct object here. Who's doing the throwing? Althea. What did she throw? A frisbee. But what if we have the sentence, Althea threw me a frisbee? Well, so we know from context, because we have the word frisbee in here, that Althea is not hurling me bodily, right? She's not chucking me across a field for a dog to catch. But we do know that the subject of the sentence is Althea, and we know that the direct object of the sentence is frisbee. But where is that frisbee going? Well, it's going to me. So, okay, so we've got this is the direct object, this is the subject, and this is the indirect object. So I am the pronoun me is the recipient of the direct object, the frisbee. Rosie, would you read me this sentence, please?
Wanda gave Louis a gift card.
That's very nice of her.
Yeah.
So, okay, so walk me through this then. What is going on in this sentence? What are the relationships between the components of this sentence?
Okay. So we have two people, and the first person listed as the subject of the sentence because she's doing an action.
Right, she's doing the giving.
Right. Then we have a direct object, which is a gift card.
Okay, that's the object that she gave.
Yeah, that's something she's giving. She has a direct relationship with that, but the gift card has a recipient, and that's Louis. And he's the indirect object.
I think another way to identify whether or not a word is the indirect object in a sentence is to see if you can pull it out and stick it on the end of the sentence as it currently stands with a preposition and see if it still makes sense. Right? So this, in this case, to Louis is no longer what we would traditionally consider an indirect object. So if we've got Wanda gave a gift card to Louis, right? Wanda is the subject, gift card is the direct object, and then we can see to Louis is now this adverbial prepositional phrase that modifies gave. It's the manner in which she gave it to Louis. And if we switched it out, if we said Wanda gave Louis to gift card, that doesn't make sense at all. So to review, the subject is the noun or pronoun that performs a verb in a sentence.
The direct object is the thing that's acted upon.
And the indirect object is the recipient of that direct object. It's the thing that gets the direct object. In the case of Althea threw me a frisbee, the pronoun me is the indirect object. In the case of Wanda gave Louis a gift card, Louis is the indirect object. He gets the gift card, I get the frisbee.
Right.
That is subjects, direct objects, and indirect objects. You can learn anything. David out.
Rosie out.
Hello, grammarians. Hello, Rosie.
Hi, Dave.
Okay, so that's it, no? The direct object is um, the thing, okay? The thing or the one acted upon. That's direct object. While the indirect object is the one, okay, that is the receiver of the direct object. Okay, so that's it. So there are patterns for that, sentence patterns. SAVDO, SAVIODO. For example, this one. Beth read the book quickly. So what is the direct object here? It's the book. Okay. For this one, I gave the place a new coat of paint. So what is here the subject? It's I. Gave is the action verb. The the place is the indirect object, and the direct object is the new coat of paint. Okay. So because the place will receive the new coat of paint. Okay. So it will receive the new coat of paint. That is why place here is the indirect object. This one. Mr. Padilla gave me the test results. So Mr. Padilla is a subject. Me is the indirect object. And the test results is the direct object. Okay. So this one. The judges considered him a champion. So dapat tayo gitawag og object complement. When we say object complement, it can be a noun, pronoun, or an adjective. Okay, example. The judges considered him a champion. So the judges is the subject. Considered is the action verb. Him is the direct object. And champion is the
object complement. It means the champion describes the direct object him. Okay? So, mana sadya. So, this one, dili na niya importante. Kaning SLVPN. So, I think that's all for today. So, do you have any question? So that we can end our session for today. For the literature part, I have already sent this one, diba, to you. So just memorize the authors and their literary pieces, their respective literary pieces. Then I will upload also on our Google Drive some lines, no, some remarkable lines in a specific or in to the specific pieces. Okay. So I think that's all for today. I hope you've learned a lot. So thank you for attending our session for this afternoon. So I will inform you again, no, about the next session. Okay? So thank you and goodbye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. You're
Thank you,
welcome.
sir.